Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of The Bro Code, where we, emerging men of faith, dive into crucial and interesting topics. This week we're going to talk about competition and comparison in the social media world. Are you guys ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Let's get into it. So the first question, do you ever find yourself falling into comparison or competition in the social media world? If so, does it threaten you or does it inspire you?
Let's see. I think it's natural to kind of find yourself comparing yourself to other people, especially when social media is such an important part of our lives. We're on it almost all day, every day. So I think when you're immersing yourself in that much content and seeing that much content thrown at you, it's kind of natural to kind of compare yourself to what your peers are doing.
Now, with that being said, with so much content coming across your newsfeed every day, how do you determine that what you're contributing is true and authentic value? Now, my answer would be I would just base it off engagement. So, who are you reaching? Who's responding? And what exactly is the response? Negative or positive?
True.
Yeah, so I think kind of to answer your question, and then I answer your question too, is I don't think I ever compare myself, but I'm always aware of all the different things that are out there, and I think I use it to make my content better.
Yeah.
Because I think it depends on the audience you're trying to actually, the audience you're actually trying to attract or the audience you're trying to reach.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, hey, what else is out there? I want to use some of that, use some of this, and then add it to what I'm doing to make my content better.
I agree.
And then to your question, like you said, I think tracking the engagement is important. But I really like when I get feedback outside of just the numbers that are on, that come with engagement. When I get feedback or I see people share or repost something, I know at least touch one person.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think as a creator, you are the ultimate responsibility of who you attract? Do you think your audience could come from somewhere else other than you?
I think so. Because based off your interactions with other people, they're going to drive people to come to your page also. So I think it's important you have a target audience, but you're still going to drive other people as well.
That's why your interactions with you matters.
Right. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Right. Of course.
Absolutely. So with going back to the first question though, like, does that inspire you or do you feel like there is a competition? I know for me, I feel extremely inspired. I'm always looking at different perspectives, even different creators that might not be in my niche, but what they're doing inspires me to be better. I try to adapt those behaviors or strategies that's helping them. There's one in particular person that goes in my church. She has over 400,000 subscribers and over 100,000 followers on Instagram. And, she's a beauty influencer, and so, but there's so much I can learn from her that there's never a sense of competition. Even if she was doing what I'm doing, there would never be competition. It would just be inspiration. Now she created this whole merch that she just dropped like a few weeks ago. And for me, I'm not competing against that. I'm inspired because I'm like, man, I want to do that too. And so she's been coaching me, even if we're in two different niches. So that's how I like that first question of is there competition or how do you compare yourself to someone else, right?
Yeah. And I feel like that's important though. Don't pigeonhole yourself into one box. You gotta talk to people from different niches and things like that, because getting different point of views, that's only gonna make your content better.
Absolutely. Because we're a community, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What about you?
I think I'm gonna just add to that and saying, like, when I think of comparing myself to somebody, it's not in competition. It's more so, can I challenge myself? Can I challenge myself today to be a better Lance than I was yesterday? What can I do with networking? What can I do with bouncing ideas off people? Or who can I meet to be able to bond with, to be able to grow and strategize? Like, I'm one of the people who want us all to succeed and all to do well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't believe there's enough people out there like that. But if we can change that seat from competition or competing to actually, let me challenge myself to be a better person today. What can I do additionally to grow my business, my brand, my intentions, or what additional audiences or people can I meet or collaborate with? So just changing the mindset on, I think, like, that really helped. But not in competition with anybody.
I think that's important. I think when you were talking, it made me feel like we have to change the narrative. Especially, this is the bro code. So as far as men doing this together, we have to change the narrative that we can work together, even if we're doing 5 different separate ideas or niches or whatever. Our audience may be different, but we can work and collaborate and inspire and love on each other in some form or fashion so that we all can win.
Exactly.
Changing that narrative, because it's so important. There's, even though we may feel comfortable, there's always a demographic or percentage of people that try to compete or feel like they have to be the best. When it's not necessarily who's number one, who's number two. We can all be number one together in our own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember, it takes me back, I was watching this short documentary on LeBron James, and they asked him, do you want to be like Michael Jordan or Kobe?
I remember that.
And what he said is, I don't want to be like either of them. I just want to achieve some of the things they accomplished.
Exactly.
And I think when you're looking at content or creators that are out there, you don't necessarily have to compete with them or want to be like them. You just want to achieve some of the things they've accomplished. So that's how I think about it when I'm in my creative space.
Yes.
To add to that, as a mime artist, it's kind of a small type of field, so to speak, when it comes to like niching and other creators who do that mime and ministry. So when I was younger, one of the main things I would do is not watch other people. That was a benefit and also a hindrance in mine, so to speak, because it benefited me by being able to be original with what I created, but it also hindered me is because I don't know exactly what other people will respond to if I didn't come up with it. So it also allowed me to be like open to seeing other people doing what I do. That's not always easy for me, if I'm being honest.
Right.
Sometimes we think because we do something well, it's ours.
That's deep.
Yeah. I'm coming into grips with that. And everything that I do well, I ain't the best at it.
I got a question for you guys. For me personally, I use social media and things like that, kind of like motivation. Like when I'm feeling down or I'm in a wreck and I'm feeling like, okay, I can't get past a certain plateau, I'll check in what other people are doing on social media and kind of use their successes as my successes to kind of build me up. Like, does anybody else do that?
I definitely do. And I think one of the things for me is that I post a lot of scriptures, a lot of encouraging things. I post a word of the day every day, but it's not just to help other people, it's also to help me. Feeding into the word, growing with the word, inspiring the word, but also sometimes just positive, like have a great day on purpose, or be thankful you made it to Friday, or Monday doesn't have to be a horrible day. It's the start of a week, start of a day. You can change the narrative. That's what we're talking about the mindset. It's almost like you change your thinking, you can change your results. You have to change what you're so used to being caught up in. I feel like social media definitely helps. It helps me because it can be used in a positive way, not just a negative way and people repost to the next person fighting type of thing.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because one thing guys have been with me about personally is changing my intention for social media. What am I going up there to see? When I get it, or when I see it, how am I interacting? How am I choosing to be in partnership with what's on social media?
And to go off of what you're saying and kind of answer your question some more, is I found myself not looking at the content that I wanted to because I had so many people I was following. So I actually went through my social media and cleaned up who I was following so that I was more intentional with the content I was taking.
Do you feel like
I feel more motivated because the people that I'm watching are the people that I want to follow, and then two, their content is aligned with where I want to go. So I definitely can agree with you on that. You're gonna ask something that you said. How do you feel?
Do you feel like there is an oversaturation? Did I say it right? Oversaturation of content creators, people who are using social media to create versus using it for just social interactions. Hi, bye. How are you?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. There are billions of people in this world. You know what I mean? Let's think about social media. As far as Instagram alone, they have billions of users. I mean, so there's a part for everyone, for all of us. There's so much diversity, so much perspectives that we can all look into. So I don't think there's an oversaturation. I think we all should just, work accordingly. Do what's continue to support who we want to support, and leave those that, like you say, filter out those individuals that you're not going to benefit you. Like you said, I love that idea of being around people that really put you in the right mindset. If you want to be the best football player, you hang around those that are playing football all the time, that are immersed in it. If you want to be the best singer, you hang around all those singers. And as far as content creators, if you want to be the best one, hang around the other content creators, collaborate, work together, learn, follow those individuals that are doing what you want to do so you can be inspired and continue to produce the best content that you want to create.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely.
On the flip side of that, though, I think there is an oversaturation of content creators, and the reason being is because I think the society we live in, everything is based on the dollar.
Well,
and
that's true.
a lot of people are using Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, things like that to monetize their brand.
That's true.
So they see one person making so much money off of followers and interactions and things like that. They're gonna think they can do the same thing, even though it might not be organic or they might not have it down to a T on how to market. I think a lot of people are jumping into social media with the thinking that they can get rich off of it because other people have done it.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to the purpose of why you have your social media. Like some people have it just to take in content, other people have it to put out content for those to be inspired. Some are trying to monetize it. I was talking to this company and they said there's about 58 million content creators that are not being able to monetize their platforms right now. And that's a crazy number to think of.
It is.
But that's because so many people are just creating content. So I don't know if there's an oversaturation, but I just don't know if people know why they have their page.
Absolutely.
And I think that matters, especially we're talking as like Christian men. Like, why do you have your page? Going back to the things that we're looking at on our page, the things that motivate us, etc.
Yeah.
I think that it definitely matters kind of where you're going to be focused when it comes to your social media page and the content that's on it.
Yeah.
So,
But I think we need to also change our perspective too. You know, a lot of times it's not about the money. It's about how do we want to influence the world. At the end of the day, content creators are influencers. And are we influencing, trying to create more of a wealth for ourselves, or are we influencing, trying to change society? You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know, there are heavy situations that we're dealing with in our world. What are we going to do to build that impact? If you have 50,000 followers, or if you have 5,000 followers, are you creating content that changes somebody's thoughts or feelings about life?
I had a mentor say, he asked us, what's going to be your contributing verse? He continued to ask, what's going to be your contributing verse? And I think when you think of social media from that standpoint, you'll probably put out better content.
Yes.
Like if you know how you're going to contribute to your audience. So yeah, that's definitely interesting. I got a question for you guys, because when I think about social media and trying to get your content out there, a lot of times we think we just need to go talk to our friends and have our friends push our content.
Yes.
But have you often found that you have people that don't support you, or people that aren't your friends support you more than your friends?
That's a good question. But before we get to that question, we are going to take a quick break, and then we'll jump right back into that question when we get back.
All right, cool.
Hello, my name is Dr. D. Evans. I'm the CEO of Koinonia Training and Consulting. I help entrepreneurs, small business owners, and even ministry leaders change their narrative. If you're ready to change the narrative of your business, of your strategy, implement things for the glory of God, I can't wait to work with you. Contact me at info@koinoniatrainingandconsulting.com.
All right, everybody, we are back. Thanks for joining us again for the Bro Code. We had to pay a few bills, but we're going to get right back into it. I'm going to turn back to my bro Ryan here. Ask that last question that you said before break.
All right, so question I had was, do people that aren't your friends support you more than your friends do? And if so, why? Why do you think that is? Is it because of their lack of interest for what you're doing? Or do you think it's a competition? Like, what do you think it is?
I mean, that could be one answer. I mean, the second answer could be poor choice of friends.
That's deep.
I was going to say yes. I am going to say yes because I think I was talking about this earlier to you, Ryan, and we were discussing that concept of, you said, why do your friends not support you? And I said, they might not be interested in my content. And I said, personally, I'm okay with that. And I have a few influencer friends that they do some things that are different, and I'm okay with not being engaged with their content. they're not in my audience, and so I have a audience that I'm trying to pursue, I'm trying to reach out to, and they might not engage with my content the way I want them to, but hopefully I just want them to at least support me behind the scenes if you can, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I feel like it's a flip side of that too, because I have friends who are in all walks of life and into all sorts of things. And when I see them post something on social media, it's nothing for me to share on whatever it is they're doing.
Exactly.
I feel like if that's your friend, if that's your family, if you really support them, you don't have to go real hard, but it's easy to hit a like, it's easy to hit a
Yes, well, that's true.
like, and I feel like people don't do that like they should.
Now, that brings me to a question. What does adequate support look like for the creator?
Yeah.
What is that? How do we determine that? How do we measure it?
I mean, well, earlier, like I'm saying, if you don't have to share it, but if you could just at least like
Acknowledge you've seen it.
comment or something, you know, you give me an emoji. Give me something. If you feel like you at least support me and help the algorithm so I can reach somebody who I wanted to reach. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think it also depends on, like you said, what does it look like? Have you had that conversation with your friend? If they are your friends, you want them to share. Have you said, hey, will you share my stuff? You don't share my stuff. I see you watching it, but why you not sharing it, right? Like having that candid conversation. And then I also think it depends on that person, right? They may create content and they're not expecting you to share because you're not their audience, and the audience that you normally attract isn't their audience either. So maybe they're not even thinking of you sharing. So for them, when it comes time to share, they're like, I don't really need to share because that's not the expectation.
Sure.
Have y'all had that conversation with your friends though? Have you ever been in that position?
That's what I was just gonna ask. I have had that conversation with a couple of friends, but you get varying viewpoints because, like you said, some people might feel like, well, I don't feel like I need to share it because I'm not trying to bring that type of audience to my page.
Right.
So I mean, I get it, but I feel like that's something that you should talk to your friends about so you can get their viewpoint, so you're not holding unnecessary grudges for something that is a misunderstanding.
Absolutely.
I think what you all are saying though kind of makes me think of this little acronym, CC, Circle Check. Circle Check. Do you remember any of y'all T-Mobile fans that used to have that Fave 5 or something that they advertised, that you had your Fave 5 at the beginning of your phone, you can click on one of your favorite of the 5 friends.
Like MySpace.
Like MySpace. Like MySpace. And it's like, it just makes me think circle check. I feel if you were doing the best in your circle, in your 5 friends, it's time for you to get a new circle. Yeah, if you're really trying to grow and trying to thrive, it's nothing wrong with those other individuals in your previous circle, but are they trying to go where you're trying to go? Are they trying to do what you're trying to do? Are they trying to do something as simple as like, comment, share, engage, empower, invest? So if you don't have any friends that's trying to do that, then maybe it's time for you to leave that small circle and go to that bigger circle to see, okay, maybe if I'm doing the best, I need some other people who are trying to do better, who are trying to pull me along, encourage me. And that's just like has me thinking like, I try to do that once a year. And it doesn't mean I don't love you. I can love you from a distance, but you can't be in my Fave 5. You can't be in my small circle because I'm trying to expand and do big things. And I would hope you would promote me, encourage me like I would, encourage you.
And I also think it depends on like your mindset going into it. So like in business, they say you never start a business for your friends because your business is not going to thrive unless you have a lot of friends.
Sure.
So you start the business for the audience you're trying to go after. So if your mindset is, hey, no matter what, this is the content I want to put out. This is who I am. This is who I want the world to know me as.
Yeah.
Regardless of my friends share it or not, I don't think you even go into the, like you'll see them not share or you see them watch your story, you don't think anything of it. You just keep on doing what you're supposed to do. So I think it also depends on the mindset that you have in that moment when you're looking at that.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Going back to what you said, Lance, how do you feel, or why do you feel people don't pour into their friends and family as much as they should? Especially in our community as Black men, we don't do that a lot. So why do you feel?
I think 2 things for me why I would feel that way. Some of us don't know how, and some of us, it's never been done to you or been done to me. Why should I, or how can I do it to the next person? So some of it could just be in the sense of, let me learn, how do I support my brother? how do I support my friend? How do I support somebody who's doing something better than me or doing something just like me or something I want to do? And sometimes it's showing up, sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's just a call or a text. Hey, have a good day, and I know you have that concert today. Do good. I know you're gonna, blow it off the roof, type of thing. But not getting that, it's like a lot of us being minorities, being black and brown individuals, men or women, it's like you feel not supported. You can get stressed, you can get depressed, you feel like you don't have that person to talk to or to count on just because a friend or a follower or a family member decided not to pray for you that day or encourage you that day. And we shouldn't have to feel like that. We gotta do better, y'all. we gotta do better.
And I also think like the whole question about how people support you has everything to do with the experiences other people have had. So I was talking to my mom, she went to this funeral and she said, hey, I don't feel like the people were there for the woman that lost her husband the way they should have been. And when I was talking to her, I said, Mom, like everybody's experiences of how they need to be there for somebody is different. And I think even when we're talking about support, whether it's social media or anything, it depends on the person's own experience. Because like support for you looks different than support for me.
True.
So you're gonna give me the support you know about, right? You're not gonna give me support that I may need if you don't really know me. So I think that you definitely got to get to know the person more, and I think that level of support changes based on kind of how you know that individual. So
Absolutely.
I think vocalizing that too is like with your friends or family members, this is how you need to support me. And I think if we don't own up into how we telling other people to support us, we can't really be upset and if they give us inadequate support.
Absolutely.
It's our responsibility to make sure we're taken care of. That's why self-care is the best care.
Yeah.
Always.
I agree with that. And I think that puts things into perspective for me because I never really had that conversation with my friends, expecting them or requesting them to share my content. So that makes me want to consider, am I being vocal enough? Am I being honest and authentic with my friends? But let's segue into the last part of this conversation. What is the responsibility that we have as Christian men and how we approach by cultivating our social media platforms? Like how important is that? What's the responsibility for us as Christian men to cultivate our platform?
Well, ultimately, as Christian men, we want to represent Christ. So having our social media, be a reflection of us, but also direct people back to the Father is my first, purpose on social media. And then two would be myself, my ministry, what I do.
Absolutely.
And I don't think the label of Christian takes away me as a person or what I do or who I am. It just adds to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So being Christian doesn't put me in a box. It kind of opens up to me. Like this is the way I express my my worship, mine.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
That's good. I personally, the question is so relevant because for me, that's something that I did. I took full responsibility in my platform to the point that one moment I was like I was growing on TikTok, I was growing on YouTube, all these platforms were growing, and I took it upon myself to stop. So for 40 days, I stepped away from all social media platforms, and I fasted and consecrated for 40 days. And it was during that time God He opened me up, because at that moment I was trying to figure out what is my niche, what is my content going to be, who am I on social media, and even outside of social media. And those 40 days helped me create this whole identity, and God really revealed to me that He said, I am the content, I am the niche. Just continue to be who you are and lift me up. And so, I don't have a niche, and I'm okay with that. But I know that if you were to consider my niche or give me a category, it would be faith-based content. And so I continue to create content that glorifies God. Whatever I create, I think about it. Does this glorify God, or does this glorify depression, or does this glorify poverty or confusion? And so I'm very cognizant, very careful of what content I would post, because I don't want to get that misconception conveyed to those who are following me. So
I think that I was listening to a lot of things that you just said. One thing that stuck out to me was being the same person on social media that you are off.
Exactly.
And to me, as a Christian man, a Christian in general, you can be the same person on social media as you are off social media,
Exactly.
you've probably done the right thing.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of, if I'm speaking for myself, a lot of my content I create from my own, like from my heart, the things that God has put
Exactly.
into me.
Exactly.
Because I know if I meet you, or if I meet Davion, or if I meet Lance, or or if I meet Terrell, like it's gonna come down. Like when you meet me, you should, or you see my content and then you meet me, you should be like, oh, there's no difference. That's the same guy I met, the other day. So like that's kind of how I approach my content. And,
A lot of people wouldn't do that. A lot of people wouldn't step away for such a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid. I wasn't even afraid to step away. So I was just like, I'm on an upward slope. I don't want to stop. But it was necessary. I was committed to trying to figure out who I am and make sure that I'm not creating a facade or being unauthentic.
which is really important.
Yeah.
It's huge.
One thing I'll add to that is being faith-based or being Christian. For me specifically, I grew up in church my whole life, so it's easy for me to do this.
Yeah.
This is easy. I can talk about God all day.
Yeah.
I can talk about motivation, about empowerment all day. It's harder to do it and it be what God said, not just something I heard or something repetitive. So when it comes to social media, I try not to do something that I know or something that I've experienced. I try to do, okay, what does God want? What is His intention out of this? Instead of just, pulling it off my back.
I agree.
That's true.
I agree.
Because everything, it may not be now, so to speak. Everything God speaks isn't necessarily supposed to be released now.
Yes.
It's always
Absolutely.
timing, and
Absolutely.
God's been training me on knowing when to speak and when not to speak.
Listen, I got like 5 videos that I have not released yet. Only because it has to be at the right time. It's the right time.
Absolutely. No, that's great conversation, y'all. We appreciate all the things you've added and your different perspectives. But we're gonna go from now. We thank everyone for watching the Bro Code.
Thank you.
Next week's episode is gonna be even better. So be sure to subscribe and tune in to CA Vision Media on YouTube. And then also follow us on Instagram as c.a.visionmedia_ on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with the new episodes coming out. Also follow Happily Better After on YouTube and at Happily Better on all social media platforms. You don't want to miss what we got next. It's going to be fire, y'all. Fire.
Next time.